자, 그럼 이제 첫 번째 질문부터 기자님들의 질문 받도록 하겠습니다. 질문이 있으신 기자님께서는 가볍게 손을 들어주시면 저희 진행위원이 마이크를 전달해 드릴게요. 매체하고 성함 말씀하시고 질문해 주시기 바랍니다. 자, 첫 번째 질문 가겠습니다. 첫 번째 질문 어느 쪽에 있나요? 저쪽 좌측에 있네요. 네, 말씀해 주시기 바랍니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 전 플러그드 바바 김상현 기자입니다. 스칼렛 요한센 씨랑 줄리엣 비노씨 두 분께 공통으로 질문 드리고 줄리엣 비노씨 배우분께는 추가 질문 하나 드리려고 하는데요. 먼저 두 분한테 공통으로 드리는 질문은 이제 두 분 다 뭐 영상에서는 눈빛으로 스크린을 굉장히 압도를 하시는데 단시간에 이렇게 관객을 몰입시키는 비결이 있다면 무엇인지 말씀해 주시고요. 캐릭터의 매력도 함께 설명해 주시고 또 줄리엣 비노씨 배우분한테는 원작에는 등장을 하지 않는 캐릭터인데 이런 부분이 연기에 좀 긍정적으로 작용을 했는지 아니면 부담감이 또 있으셨는지 궁금하고요. 새로운 캐릭터를 아예 창조를 하시면서 어떤 부분을 고민하셨는지 말씀 부탁드립니다.
자, 스칼렛 조한슨 씨부터 부탁드릴까요?
I don't really know how to answer that question. One thing that I think is really interesting when I realized this, when I was filming actually with Takeshi, is that, and I learned this more and more as I work and is that, you know, you don't really need words. Language, of course, is one part of communicating, but you know, with Takeshi and I, we didn't, obviously there was a language barrier between us, but you realize that your eyes, you know, the window to your soul, they say, you know, is really the one of the tools, one of the strongest tools to make, you know, to have a human connection with somebody, and a soulful connection with somebody, and you know, the huge part of communicating is with your eyes, how you feel, what you notice, and you know, I don't know, I don't know that it's necessarily even sort of a conscious thing. You know, I think when you feel something deep within you, it's expressed through your eyes, and I guess you know, as you work more and work on your technique, and you know, you pare away kind of noise, unimportant things, and you kind of focus on the intent. You know, you know, you kind of narrow down what you're really trying to communicate with somebody in an efficient way, because I think acting is a lot about efficiency. You know, your performance becomes more refined and impactful, I think. I don't know if that answers the question, but anyway, it's an answer. So there you have it. Thank you.
네, 메이, 네, 이번엔 줄리엣 비노시 씨 말씀해 주시겠어요?
I thought it was because you loved me. I'm very disappointed.
Oh, with you and I. Well, what's happening between you? Oh, I thought the question was just about our eyes. Was it just about our eyes or about our eyes together?
Our relationship.
Was the question about our relationship?
It's too late, baby.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Well, for me, the really was Dr. Ule is creating Major Mira, and I think that for me it has to do with a very personal and intimate relationship I have with creation somehow, because it's seeing, you know, it's like sharing with creation what it means to me, but also with my daughter. I thought a lot about my daughter when I was playing with you, and I care, I'm frightened, I want to protect, and I'm upset also somehow, you know, on the possible destructive side of life. So there was a lot of mixture of, I I think that's the question, isn't it? The question, was it? I mean,
정확히 보자면 이제 두 분의 몰입도도 있지만 관객이 스크린에서 두 배우님들을 이렇게 보면 보자마자 몰입하게 되는 두 분의 매력이 있거든요. 그래서 어떻게 그렇게 관객을 몰입시키시는지 하고 그 캐릭터의 매력에 대해서 비노시 씨는 그 닥터 오울의 매력, 그리고 스칼렛 조한슨 씨는 메이저라는 캐릭터의 매력을 한 말씀씩 추가해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Yeah. Well, of course, you're preparing before you're acting, and you think about it and you rehearse for yourself. But then there's a moment of sharing with the other actor, and also with the crew and the director. And so that's what happens. Is that is some kind of you're hoping for miracle coming at each moment, at each frame of the film, and I only had like 5 scenes in the film, and it needed to be very strong in a way because I knew that it was helping Major's journey, but also for people to understand the sacrifice I'm making at a certain point and dying if you don't have full reason to do it and being involved emotionally, then this, it's not strong enough. So from the beginning, and that's been a lot of discussion with Rupert about my involvement emotionally and not only as a scientist. Also, to answer the second question is, well, actually, I didn't want to go too much into what was written or the anime because this character I was playing is, first of all, is a woman, and in the original story, it's a man. And I think it'd be interesting in knowing why you made this this choice, Rupert. But as far as I'm concerned, I thought, in the scenes it was strong enough, it was elaborated enough in order to really go into it and make this relationship alive, truthful, and meaningful, and to balance really the scientist as well as the mother side, I would say.
조한슨 씨 혹시 메이저라는 캐릭터의 매력에 대해서 더 하시고 싶은 말씀 없으신지요? 괜찮은 것 같습니다. 자, 있으신가요? 네.
Yes, the question about the. I'm sorry.
메이저라는 캐릭터의 매력. 네.
Yes. What attracted me to the character? Well, it wasn't immediately apparent that we could. How to lift the project off, kind of breathe real life into it, and like lift it from the animation and turn it into a live action film. I wasn't sure how that was going to be exactly because the animation is so it's very languid at times and poetic and. Ask these existential questions, and it wasn't totally clear what the full experience of the character, what her dilemma was, but as I started to kind of think about it, I thought about this character who has this struggle with her own identity, who she is now and who she thinks she was and then who she actually was, this kind of calling that she has, the ghost of the character, her spirit, her soul, and the quest for the truth about her identity. And I started to think, Rupert and I talked about this, the ego and the superego and the id, and what that meant is, how all those 3 parts kind of make up the sum of a whole person. And then I was really kind of committed at that point because I was already into it. I was already into the psyche of the character, and so that, and also Rupert's, had put together such he'd been working on it so passionately for such a long period of time and put together such a beautiful visual package, and I think that what really drew me to this was the opportunity to be able to partner with Rupert and go on the journey together. I never could have done it without him. Of course, it was too abstract otherwise.
네, 알겠습니다. 자, 다음 질문 가도록 하겠습니다.
먼저 배우분한테는 어쨌든 그 원작이 있는 캐릭터니까 준비하는데 쉽지 않았을 것 같은데 남다르게 좀 심혈을 기울인 게 있다면 어떤 건지 궁금하고 감독님도 마찬가지로 이게 좀 원작이 있으니까 연출에도 부담을 많이 느끼셨을 것 같아요. 어떻게 연출하고자 했는지 또 원작과 다른 매력이 있다면 무엇인지 궁금합니다.
네, 새로운 캐릭터를 만들기 위해서 어떤 점에 중점을 뒀는지 그리고 연출하실 때도 원작이 있다 보니까 어떤 점에 중점을 두었는지 감독님부터 답변하시겠습니다.
The anime is quite abstract and quite complex. And in order to bring a bigger audience in, we needed a more simple story. We needed a character story. And the thing that attracted me most to Ghost in the Shell when I first saw it as a student was the character of Major. And I really wanted to understand what was going on within her mind. We understood mechanically what was going on with her body, but I was very interested in this idea of the soul, where is our humanity, what is the ghost? And she really is the vehicle of that story. But the real story that the audiences can grasp onto is a fairly simple detective story. You know, much like Blade Runner or Chinatown, it's kind of film noir. It's catching the bad guy and on that journey finding out who you are. And really, the anime had so many great levels of philosophy, metaphor, ideas of dualism, ideas of spirituality and humanity. We wanted those all to be in the film, but we knew that they couldn't lead the film. They would have to be below the surface a bit more. And I think what Scarlett did so amazingly is to bring all of those facets of our lives, our humanity together through playing an android. You know, externally she is robotic and mechanical, but, and you talked about the eyes earlier, within her eyes you see a person who is in conflict. And that conflict was the thing that I wanted to explore at the foremost part of the film.
자, 이번엔 스칼렛 조한슨 씨 캐릭터를 살리기 위해서 어떤 점을 노력하셨는지에 관한 질문이었습니다.
Well, a character lives. It was difficult because I spent 5 or more months living with kind of in this a very uncomfortable state with a lot dealing characters is experiencing betrayal and loss and abandonment and questioning her own brain and her own thought process, and she doesn't know who to trust, and she it's a lot to kind of sit with that for such a long period of time. But of course, the more you sit with it, the more it becomes a kind of a reality for you, and the more comfortable you are sitting in the discomfort of those feelings. So it was hard, but I also had the physicality to kind of ground me and to fall back on if I needed it. I always kind of came back to the physicality of the character and this kind of mind-body disconnect, and that always kind of helped center me.
그렇게 어려운 캐릭터였지만 관객 입장에서 볼 때는 화면 속에서 너무너무 멋지셨다라는 말씀 전해드리고 싶습니다.
스칼렛 요한슨 배우에게 질문 드리고 싶은데요. 영화 캐릭터로서도 인기가 굉장히 많으시지만 이렇게 페미니스트로서 또 대표적인 반 트럼프 스타로서도 대중한테 많은 지지를 받고 계시고 있는데 지금 현재 미국에서도 대통령 탄핵 목소리가 끊이지 않고 있잖아요. 한국의 대통령이 탄핵된 사실을 알고 계신지 궁금하고요. 또 이에 대해서 좀 어떻게 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
영화 질문이 아니네요. 글쎄요, 어떤 답변이 나올까요?
Are you going to drag me into Korean politics? I don't know if I'm prepared. Yes, I'm aware that the president was impeached. We've been reading about it in the news in the U.S. It's a very complicated situation, it seems. And yeah, I think in order to save face, I'm not going to drag myself into Korean politics. But if you want to talk about Trump, I've got plenty to say about that.
네, 가능하면 영화 질문으로 집중해 주시길 좀 부탁을 드리겠습니다.
예, 안녕하세요. 한국정영신문뷰어스의 장영준 기자라고 하고요. 저는 먼저 그 필로 에이스백 씨한테 질문 두 가지 드리고요. 그리고 스칼렛 요한슨 씨한테도 질문 드리고 싶은데요. 먼저 그 필로 에이스백 씨에게는 지금 이번 작품에서 스칼렛 요한슨 씨하고 이제 루시에 이어서 두 번째로 이제 호흡을 맞추는 걸로 알고 있는데, 스칼렛 요한슨이라는 이제 또 배우가 가진 어떤 옆에서 이제 같이 일을 하면서 느끼시는 어떤 장점이 있는지 궁금하고요. 그리고 이번에 이제 본인이 맡으신 캐릭터도 굉장히 좀 매력적으로 느껴지고 또 보여졌는데, 직접 이제 자신의 어떤 캐릭터의 매력에 대해서 좀 한번 언급을 좀 해주셨으면 좋겠고요. 그리고 스칼렛 요한슨 씨에게는 좀 가벼운 질문을 좀 드리고 싶은데요. 영화 속에서 투명인간처럼 이렇게 변할 수 있는 좀 수트를 입고 등장을 하시는데, 실제로 이제 그런 수트가 좀 존재를 한다면, 가장 먼저 좀 해보고 싶은 일이 있으신지 궁금합니다.
네, 드디어 필로 에스백 씨 차례가 왔습니다. 먼저 여배우로서 스칼렛 조한슨 씨의 장점, 그리고 또 필로 에스백 씨가 맡은 캐릭터의 매력에 대해서 질문해 주셨네요. 먼저 답변해 주시겠어요?
I'm so incredible lucky guy. I've been able to work with Scarlett twice. The first one was 3 days in Taipei with Luc Besson. We were supposed to shoot the scene for 3 days, but I think we did it in 5 hours. So I could do a lot of sightseeing. But working with Scarlett is one of those incredible experiences you're only going to get a couple of times in your life as an actor. She is the most determined, the most powerful, and probably one of the most talented actresses I've ever worked with. And I can only hope I get the chance again and again and again in the future. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you. Yeah, but I'm kind of upset I didn't get the answer to get the question about my eyes, because I think I have the coolest eyes in the whole film. I have X-ray and mild zoom, but you have the most pretty eyes. I agree. How is it to portray Bateau? Pretty awesome. He's a big guy with a big heart. He has a dog. He likes his gun. I can relate to those things, except the weapon. He's a very beloved character. And how do you portray a character who's been so loved all over the world? You do your best and you wish for the best. For me, it was in the collaboration with Scarlett and with Rupert. Very quickly we found out that this is a brother-sister relationship. I'm here to protect her. If she cannot love me for who I am because she doesn't really know what love is yet, then I will love her with the whole of my heart and protect her. And I have had an experience once with a girl that I love very much, and she said, can we just be brothers and sisters instead? So that's what my experience was regarding our relationship. That was it.
네, 감사합니다. 그리고 스칼렛 조한슨 씨에겐 재미있는 질문이었죠. 인비지블 수트, 투명 수트를 입고 뭘 제일 하고 싶으세요? 라는 질문이었습니다.
I would slip into the Blue House and more aptly answer your question about the last impeachment. No, didn't go over well. Oh gosh, what would I do? I don't know. I guess I'd probably take full advantage of my thermoptic suit to I'd ride the subway probably, and just that's something you lose when you've kind of lose your anonymity. You kind of miss things like riding on the subway because it's such a nice time to observe people. And I don't know. I don't really know what I'd do if I was invisible. I guess I'd just ride the subway. What do you think?
네. 네, 알겠습니다.
Would it count? Would you be naked? When you're wearing the suit, would that how it would feel being naked? Wearing the suit, you're still wearing something, but you would feel...
nobody can see you, though.
Oh, then it doesn't make any sense.
I don't want to ride the naked subway.
자, 이제 다음 질문으로 가도록 하겠습니다. 다음 질문은 네, 저 뒤쪽에 있습니다. 마이크 전달해 주시기 바랍니다. 네.
예, 안녕하세요. 저 매거진행 기자 김나연이라고 하고요. 저는 스칼렛 요한슨 씨랑 감독님한테 질문이 있는데, 일단 요한슨 씨한테는 액션 관련해가지고 아까 푸티지 30분 영상을 보니까 되게 어떻게 말하면 되게 무자비하고 굉장히 동정이 전혀 없는 그런 굉장히 파워풀한 액션을 보여주셨는데, 이건 또 이제 예전에 다른 어벤져스나 다른 작품에서 나왔던 액션의 움직임과는 또 다르다고 생각해가지고요. 어떻게 이제 메이저만의 액션을 만들어내려고 고민을 하셨는지, 어떻게 연기를 하셨는지 궁금하고요. 이렇게 샌더스 감독님한테는 이런 이제 전체적인 룩에 관한 굉장히 특이하다고 봤거든요. 이제 공간을 만들어내는 미술이나 이런 게. 그래서 어떤 지향점을 가지고 이 공각기동대의 비주얼 세계를 만들어냈는지 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
자, 먼저 스칼렛 조한슨 씨에게 이 감정 없는 파워풀한 액션을 어떻게 준비하셨는지 질문이 왔습니다.
It's a different style of fighting. You know, the Major is a different style of fighting than, for instance, Black Widow. Black Widow is was based on the fact that the character has a history and that she was a ballet dancer, and there's like a gymnastic quality to it, and it's much more kind of playful, and she uses her size, the fact that she's kind of small, to her advantage, and it's sort of she's sort of a defensive style of fighting, and the Major is much more offensive and tactical. So I did a lot of weapons training for this film that I've done weapons training in the past, but I did a lot more kind of tactical training, so like room clearing and learning how to move kind of in a group, and trained with members of the Los Angeles Police Department, and also people that do work with the New York City Police Department. So I could kind of handle my weapon in this seamless way, and it kind of just becomes an extension of her body. But yeah, I trained a lot, and so I could be as efficient as possible and be able to do as much of the fights as possible. Mostly, I really was able to complete a lot of them, which was great. It just takes time, and luckily I have the background. I've been training for a decade in this genre, or in the action genre, and so I have all of that past experience, which is really helpful. And I also did a lot of wire work on this film, which was more than I've done in the past, just because I think the Major moves in a way that it's not just superhuman, it's like mechanical. And so, whether she's running on walls or, coming down on somebody from like just an extraordinary height, or everything's or when she kicks somebody, the force is huge. It's like she's metal, her body it's different than, the way that a regular human body would, the impact that they would make. She's kind of got this, it's almost like she's made out of, like she's unbreakable. in a way. Yeah, so it just requires a lot of discipline, training.
I think one of the things about Ghost was we really wanted to make the film feel very real and very authentic. And I think what Scarlett did and what we discussed early on was that she needed to be able to kill people. So we trained her to kill people. She worked with military people, with police people. She needed to have that look in her eye when she looked at an assailant that had that danger and that ruthlessness. And I think in the water courtyard fight scene specifically, she really goes to another level of aggression. And I think that is what Ghost in the Shell that's where we differ from some of those other films, is that the violence in this film is authentic, but it's from character. You know, she is driven, and the violence is an extension of that. She worked incredibly hard, long before we were having our breakfast. Scarlett would be beating the hell out of some poor guy in a warehouse in Wellington, and then doing weapons training. And one thing that I saw that really blew me away was that she can fire a full magazine of an automatic weapon without closing her eyes, which is virtually impossible. So she was very tactically trained, because the Major is a tactical operative and she's one of the best in the world. That's what she's built for. And Scarlett undertook doing her stunts herself in order to lend that authenticity. And as far as Ghost in the Shell being, unique, yes, it's unique. Ghost in the Shell is unique. That's why we really wanted to honor the legacy of Ghost in the Shell, and we are a very proud part of the future of Ghost in the Shell. We have just come from Tokyo, where we showed the film, and it was very well received. Oshii was there, Kenji was there. It was great to be a part of that family of Ghost in the Shell. They were very happy with what we've done, and we were very happy to be a part of it. Ghost in the Shell has been seen by many people, but many, many, many more don't know it, aren't aware of it. And I think that with this incredible cast and with the visual depth of Ghost in the Shell, we can bring it to a much bigger audience. And through that, hopefully people will go back and look at the original. They'll find Oshii's work, they'll find Shiro's work, and really, hopefully manga and anime will become more popular.
먼저 감독님과 스칼렛 요한슨 배우에게 질문을 드리겠는데요. 감독님께는 먼저 닥터 오울의 역할을 여성으로 바꾸면서까지 이제 여성을 투톱으로 내세운 SF 액션 영화를 만들었는데, 특별히 그렇게 한 이유가 있다면 듣고 싶습니다. 그리고 스칼렛 요한슨 배우께는 트럼프 대통령을 지지하고 싶다 이렇게 말씀하셨는데, 이제는 지지하시는지, 그리고 정치적인 행동이나 발언하는 걸 되게 주저하지 않는 편이신데 여기에 대한 특별히 자기만의 철학이 있다면 뭔지 듣고 싶습니다.
감독님부터 부탁드릴까요? 여성 투톱으로 영화를 만드신 이유에 대해서 답변 부탁드리겠습니다. 닥터 오울의 박사를 여성으로 만드신 이유.
I think that the scientist really... First of all, I'm English, so we can't talk about Trump, luckily. Just saying. Scarlett probably doesn't want to talk about Trump. Stop using the word, shall we? Where were we? 2 women. Yes, women should be running more countries. Women are the creators, are the birthers, and I think there was something incredible to have the scientist be a female. Ghost in the Shell is a very strong female film, and there aren't enough of them. And to me, I'm very happy that we have 2 great female leads in this film. And I think there was something conceptually to me that just made more sense emotionally with Juliette Binoche playing Scarlett's mother. That would not have been the same with a man. Takeshi Kitano, obviously, who plays Aramaki, is almost the paternal figure to the Major. So it felt to me it was more important that her creator was a woman, and the man she worked alongside was a man. It's a very this is not a female empowerment movie, but it's a film with very strong, intelligent women at the head of it, and I'm very proud that is the case.
자, 다음은 조한슨 씨에게 질문이었죠? 아, 네. 그러면 시간 관계상 아쉽지만 저희가 마지막 인사 말씀을 부탁을 드리도록 하겠습니다. 그 부분에 대해서 저희가 양해를 부탁을 드릴게요. 영화 관련 질문이 아니다 보니까 또 마이크를 주지 않으셔서 저희가 영화 관련 질문이 아니어서 그냥 지나가도록 하겠습니다. 필로 웨스백 씨부터 마지막 인사 말씀 부탁드릴까요? 오늘 함께 하신 소감에 대해서. 네.
I hope you all will go in and watch this film. I hope you'll tell your friends. We have a saying in Denmark, if you love it, share it. If you don't like it, keep it for yourself. Enjoy.
고맙습니다. 자, 줄리엣 비노시 씨도 인사 말씀 부탁드립니다.
I love you. See you later another time.
아주 짧지만 강력한 인사네요. 스칼렛 조한슨 씨.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was still thinking about the Trump question, but I won't answer. It's been, I don't really know what to say other than the fact that I'm incredibly proud of this work. It really, like I said earlier, was a labor of love for many people, and so many incredibly creative people worked on this project. Rupert's whole team, our incredible cinematographer, the costume designers, production designers, Weta Workshop, all of the amazing performances that were given by the actors in this film. It was no easy task to create this. Everything that went into creating this world, was done with intention and love. And I, like I said, I'm very, very excited to finally be able to show this film to the world, to all of you. I'm very excited to meet my Korean fans. I've met them in various parts of the world, and now I'm meeting them all here at home. So that's really cool. And again, thank you so much for hosting us. I can't wait for you all to see the film in its entirety, hopefully very soon.
고맙습니다.
Ghost in the Shell is a very unique and original film. It takes place in a world that we've never seen before. Incredible performances at the center of it. I really feel that there's something here that we haven't seen before. It's unique, it's different, it's unusual, and it sits amongst many other great films, but it sits on its own. It's a strange beast, and we've all fallen in love with it, and we've dedicated a lot of our lives to it. Every frame is full of love and creativity, and it's been a wonderful experience, and I can't wait for you guys to enjoy it on a big screen in 3D and IMAX and all the wonderful new versions of screening films. Thank you for having us, and thank you for coming.
네, 고맙습니다. 자, 그럼 이것으로 공각기동대 고스트 인 더 쉘 기자회견을 마치고 포토타임을 진행을 하도록 하겠습니다. 감독님과 배우분들은 착용하셨던 이니어를 빼서 테이블 위에 놔주시면 감사하겠습니다.